Good morning, my friends. This is the Saturday version of this thing of ours. It is now 8 a.m. on the East Coast. I want to welcome you. Thank you so much for being a part of this for this show. Please gather around. The man with the goodies is here. This was an old joke years ago, a PSA about drug use, which I'm not going to go into because, frankly, you don't know what I'm talking about. Let me ask you right off the bat that if you like what you have heard and you like what you hear, you can do a number of things. First of all, support us. Give to us, support our sponsors. This is the new world, my friend. This is it. This is it. Say goodbye, Fox News. God bless you. It's wonderful. But this is a thing about wave goodbye. There's always going to be TV, but if you want to see real news, and I'm going to tell you something, news that is not necessarily scripted by the usual folks, you are going to have to find those individuals who provide a service to you and support them. That's it. Period. Patrons of the arts, grants, you have to do this. Not just me, but people that you care for. That's what's happening. That's the world of independence. That's what we need to do. So thank you for that. So subscribe to the channel. Let me also remind you of a couple of things. First and foremost, we have wonderful sponsors. I told you, the great folks at My Patriot Supplies. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know if you have been following this like I do. But there are people, as they watch the world, who are absolutely positively waiting for the moment when it hits the fan and there is a store shut down or there is some supply chain. Who knows? We don't know why. There's no valid reason. The moment that, let's say, prior to an election, let's say somebody says, let's try this new fear. We had a lot of fun watching them with the masks. Let's see what they do. We've done a few toilet paper runs. Let's really freak them out. Let's shut down some stores. Watch this. Can you imagine what's going on? You think you've seen calamity? You think you seriously? Do you know what will happen? See, it's one thing when you freak out, you go, oh, we're out of toilet paper, but you go to a store. You go there and there's no toilet paper. There's other stuff. The store's open, but there's no toilet paper. People go nuts. They went crazy over hand sanitizer. Though the stores are open. Well, what if there's no store? What if they're closed? Because we don't have supplies. And then the insurance companies say, don't stay open. Too risky. Property damage, just shut this thing down. Close them off. Put security around. We don't want people near because they're going to go crazy. Today, 20 years ago, people said, wow, they don't go crazy. We used to go crazy at a Best Buy at Christmas time when we had the money to buy a plasma screen. Preparewithlionel.com. I don't want to be overly ghoulish about this, but you've got to be able to figure out and channel the disaster. And then My Pillow. My Pillow, I love this guy, Mike Lindell. He's that smile, the mustachioed, he's our friend. And they have deal after deal and close out and get new stuff. And here's the new and it's coming. And it just, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, get a free gift, no purchase necessary. And you know what their main stuff is? What they saw more of than anybody else? Slippers. Like you can't believe. All right, my friends, I'm just in the process, and this is one of the reasons why you have to watch this. I'm in the process right now of putting together a video, which will appear later, on the correct term for the word and use of the term conspiracy theory. We were talking the other day, and I heard for the umpteenth time the term used incorrectly. And if there's one thing that I can do, I want you to forever thank me and say, he taught me how to use the term correctly. He taught me what it meant. He taught me how to actually use these terms correct. I was using this term incorrectly the whole time. How many times have you heard people say they robbed his house? No, you rob a person. Because robbery is assault plus larceny. It's theft. But there's the assault part. You have to place somebody in fear. You can't place a home in fear. Oh, I didn't know that. So I've been using the term incorrectly. Yes. Oh, okay. How many times do people use the term vagina, which is the Latin pronunciation for vagina, which means sheath, like in storage? People use it incorrectly. They mean vulva. They've been using it incorrectly the whole time. People use terms all the time. Literally. The term literally. People, I literally died. No, you didn't. I literally, because there's imprecision. There's this young man on Fox, I'm not going to go into it. He says the United States. He kept referring to the United States, this imprecision. It's not an accent. It's not a patois. It's imprecision. The Attorney General. No, you're not saying this is wrong. Well, no, we're sliding. Hey, let's change the dress code. No. What I want to do is I want to tell you sometimes, look at it this way. I start to break the rules. Anybody watch NBA? When was the last time there was a traveling call? Doesn't exist anymore. Okay. Different, whatever it is. We can't do this. But if you're going to do what we do, you're going to have to know the term conspiracy theory. Conspiracy is the agreement to do something. It is the agreement. There are terms called inchoate crimes, conspiracy, attempt. We conspire, confederate to do something. Two or more guilty people can conspire with yourselves. Hey, let's sell heroin. Great. I just committed the crime. Ta-da! It's done. Committed the crime. It's over. Whether we stop, you know what, forget it. Because then you got to say, well, did you get on the conspiracy? As a practical matter, they probably won't charge you with that unless you're a Trump supporter. Then, of course, they'll charge you. Then there's the attempt. Hey, I attempted to hit him, but I missed. We charge you with attempt. You don't have to go through with it. Yeah, you attempted to do it. It's good enough for us. Did you think about doing it? That's conspiracy. Did you try to do it and miss? That's the attempt. How about soliciting? Hey, would you go and kill my brother-in-law if I gave you $500? No. Okay. That's solicitation. Nobody was killed. That's me asking for it. Asking you to do it. Offer to commit. You want to rent me for an hour? I'm a prostitute. Offer to commit. See, it's not the crime. It's what happens before the crime. And conspiracy is just thinking about it. So when somebody says, Bobby Kennedy is promoting this conspiracy theory about, let's say, vaccines. Who are the conspirators? What? Who is making, what's the agreement? What's the agreement? No. He said that, for example, he's claimed that vaccines may cause autism or whatever it is. That's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory. It may be BS. It may be wrong. Some people think that, olive oil is good for your heart. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's wrong. It's 100% fat. It's not good for your heart. It's not better than not. It doesn't make it. That's not a conspiracy theory. The term is wrong. Well, a lot of conspiracy theories say that the election was fixed. That's not a conspiracy unless you're talking about the people who actually did that. But if you say the election was fixed, that's not a conspiracy theory. You're saying it was fixed. Hey, Ted Bundy killed those people. That's not a conspiracy theory. He was by himself. No, he did that. The conspiracy theory is if you say Donald Trump met with Carrie Lake and met with so-and-so to conspire from conspirate, to breathe with. Respire, expire, conspire, spiracy, respiration, breathing, to breathe with, with, to breathe with. The conspiracy theory is a theory of how they agreed to do this. If they never did anything, let's say Donald Trump sits down and says, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do fake electors. We're going to we're going to make false claims about such and such. We're going to go and Carrie, you're going to come in and you're going to say this. You know what? Nah, that's the conspiracy. We just had it. That's a conspiracy. You conspired. And you can also argue, did you stop it in time? It's a different story. It's a different issue. It's the agreement. It's the agreement. Do you follow? Sparky says, it bugs me when people say could care less instead of couldn't care less, or when they say irregardless instead of regardless. By the by, my favorite thing is when people use irregardless. I would say, well, irregarding the matter at hand, irregarding, well, irregardless. What? You said irregardless instead of regardless. Yeah. Irregardless I say irregarding. What? 3 people got the joke. Could care less, couldn't care less, supposedly, imprecision, literally. I die. No, you didn't literally. Well, you know what I mean. No, you didn't say that. United States Attorney General. You have no idea. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, forget it. I don't know what language he speaks. I don't know what did he ever go to a school? There are people who are who have the thickest accents who speak perfect. You know, when you're doing a court reporter thing and somebody says, I went to the store to buy something for my, and it's English. It might be pronouncing correctly, but you're basically saying things, United States is the wrong word. Nuclear. That's a cacoepy. A cacoepy versus an orthoepy. Anyway, the term conspiracy is the agreement. It's the agreement. Let me say this again to you. It's the agreement. It doesn't mean a crazy idea. There's a conspiracy theory that coffee enemas prevent cancer. No, that's not a conspiracy. Who were conspiring? What? Who are the conspirators? How about Folgers? The Folgers people met with this group and they put together this fake story and they put it on the internet. Now that's a conspiracy. Folgers or Maxwell House, Juan Valdez conspiring with somebody else. That's the agreement. I'm going to say it again. When Bobby Kennedy says something about vaccines, unless he's saying who are the people involved in perpetuating this idea, that's not a conspiracy theory. If somebody says, if you believe that this vaccine doesn't work, or if you think acetaminophen is linked to liver cancer or liver disease, that's not a conspiracy theory. That is a theory or a belief in something. The conspiracy would be people who worked together in order to do this. Manson killed people. Is that a conspiracy theory? Well, unless you're talking about the people he conspired with. But no, Manson worked with people. They conspired at first, theoretically, and then the act itself. Tex Watson and Krenwinkel and Van Houten, they were not co-conspirators because the crime had already commenced. Now they're accomplices. Now they're actually in the act itself. Get the story right. There is this idea that there was a weaponized version of this from a CIA memorandum. You may have seen this, and some AP article says no. The term conspiracy theory did not begin with the JFK assassination. No, that's not what we're saying. Nobody is saying that. What we're saying is give peace a chance. No, what we're saying is that the laughing, the weaponization of it. That's like me using the word, oh, is this science? Oh, no, he's using science. It's taking something that is normally thorough and, okay, that's coming up. I did one of the best videos. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe, because this is the one you want to keep and watch and send to your friends like, watch this guy. You're using the term all wrong. Drives me nuts. Next, and this is critical for me to tell you. I don't know what it is about people when you like to see something. I saw and read yet again the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in my life. Oh, by the way, Sparky says, ironically, many people use say irregardless because they think it makes them sound sophisticated. Oh, you're right about that. They actually are so demented. They think it adds a well, la-di-da. I'm saying irregarding. Remember what I say, irregarding the matter at hand. Now, what is it that you're supposed to get from a story that has nothing? Did you see by any chance, and this was so interesting, the Ken Paxton interview with Tucker Carlson? Did you see this? Did you? I hope you saw it. Please tell me you saw this. One of the most important pieces of interview you can have, an excellent interview. However, if nothing happens from it, we are wasting our time. Sparky says, speaking of etiquette, I remember a book we had as children in the 1960s called Stand Up, Shake Hands, Say How Do You Do. The title alone got us knuckle draggers most of the way to civilization. May I also say, Sparky, and by the way, thank you for your kindness, there is a wonderful book called Tiffany's Manners for Teenagers. It is a wonderful, there used to be, what was that class? Did Tiffany's used to do where they would bring kids? Do we have it? Oh, we have it out all the time. It is one of the best. Can we bring that? Well, when you get a chance. I like to know how to do things just for the hell of it. Just how. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Tiffany's Table Manners for Teenagers. Get this, very thin, not a big read. Get this for you. Not for your teens, for you. Because I know you like to play by the rules and to act with a certain degree of decorum. There are people, if you want to see me go nuts, when I see this is the fork, okay? The fork. Here is the knife. You're cutting something. The most beautiful, there is a a scene from Mr. Prime Minister or whatever it is. That is the most beautiful eating I have ever seen. The UK, the Brits, I've known some of the most boorish and churlish Irish people, but when it came down to eat, their manners were impeccable. The way the knife and fork, the way they would, it was so beautiful. Gordon Ramsay, watch him. Watch how they use the spoon for fish. They're so good. But Americans do this. Here's the fork, and they do this thing with their fingers like they're playing the cello, or they do this with their finger on top like this. They've never held. It's like, you are a barbarian. You are a barbarian. You are a crude Friar Tuck Cro-Magnon Neanderthal rube, a churlish rusticator. It's you are the John Fetterman of cutlery etiquette. You are a disgrace. I see that everybody does, and they have no they have no idea. They have no earthly idea. There was a young man one time, and I very politely asked him, I said, he had a jacket on. You could tell he's never had a suit. And he left the label on the sleeve, the label that said, whatever the thing was. And I said to him very nice, I said, you know what they're going to think? They're going to think you're going to take that back, because I knew some people who used to buy a suit, leave that on, and then take it back. They would walk around. Seriously, this is a long time ago. That was a nice way of saying, you got to take that off. Oh. In the old days of cigar etiquette, you always took the band off, and then people wanted to be cohibas. There are certain things that people just do that's just say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't you know you do? When we were kids, we would go, travel. We go to, motels and, stop and whatever. And one time my mother and I, we left, they had this piece of paper. They would put it on the band of the toilet paper. It says, sanitize for your protection. It was just a piece of paper on the toilet seat that they wanted you to think, oh, they cleaned it. Why? Well, because they put this paper on there. They would never just put this ring around the toilet seat unless they actually did it. We very carefully one time took it off, had to re-tape it, I think, but put it back before we left. Before we checked out, put it back on. So this woman came in and looked and said, thought it was funny. John Fetterman is sending a message to you. He is trolling you. He is saying to you, your rules, your everything mean nothing to me. I despise you. Dr. Oz, where is Dr. Oz? How does a heart surgeon, Harvard educator lose to a man who, with all due respect, is so addled by stroke he can't speak? Edie Crowley says, fed up and fettered with Fetterman and PA. Indeed. It is an example of a complete and total contempt for this country. A complete and total contempt for you and everything about this country. We are at war at every conceivable level of our civilization. Let me say this again. We are at war. I have been fighting stupid people, but I didn't mind stupid people unless and until they were actually in charge of something. You have no idea the stupid people that I have to deal with. And the thing that I want to ask, by the way, about Ken Paxton, please watch this. A wonderful, wonderful, wonderful interview between Tucker Carlson and Paxton. Now, here is the thing. What is my take action? What do I do? What do I do? What do you mean, what do you do? What do I do? What is my thing? I don't understand it. What do I do? Somebody help me. Somebody explain this to me. That's all. Okay, I see the Ken Paxton thing. The Karl Rove, the connection. Who follows up on this? Nothing. Imagine going to a doctor. You say, doctor, I think I broke my arm. Why? Well, there's bone sticking out and I can't move it. I'm in pain. Oh, that's terrible. Can we walk outside? Yes. Folks, listen, I want to you patients see this. This is a broken bone. You see this right here? Yes. See the human right here? This is a terrible. Oh, that's terrible. That's awful. And by the way, we have this thing up there. If you can take your remote control and everybody who agrees, would you hit a star so we can say, oh, Jerry, look, you got 20 stars. Everybody in the room feels sorry for you. Okay, Jerry, have a nice day. Go home. Are you going to fix me? No. Are you going to correct this? No. What are you going to do? Nothing. I'm going to do nothing. We are not involved in doing any. We are not going to do anything. Tucker, Paxton, what do we do with this? I don't know. Wait a minute. What happens next? Well, we covered it. I know you covered it. But social media now and X are becoming places where stories go to disappear. And the public is confused into thinking that, well, because we're talking about it, something may be done about it. Because we're talking about it. Did you see that great video? I saw a video, not a video, a story yet again on Substack about the Lahaina fires, the most conclusory, non-evidentiary, nothing that it came out of nowhere, where they just made these thoughts, these ideas, these accusations of directed energy, and I never saw anything that happened. Other than that, I thought to myself, well, what's going on? Let me say this again. I watch wonderful videos. I was watching these wonderful stories about all of this stuff. It's so interesting. And what about this? And did you see we did the story about Abramovich, who is now he's now involved in the she's going to be either a spokesman, ambassador to Yugoslavia, to Ukraine. Can you believe? Build schools, kids, schools. Do you understand what is happening? Do you grasp this? No. And what they do is they put the news out for you right in front of it. Right in front of you. And I don't know what's going on. So here's my question, and listen to me very carefully. What are we supposed to do? If I walked into, I don't know, and say, how is this happening? Excuse me. We're giving money to this guy who's giving her. Do you know anything about her? Roll the tape. You will never be able to understand how people have never understood Ukraine ever. There are people, God bless them. Judge Napolitano, I had a wonderful time with him, interview, just talking about legal and constitutional stuff. John Mearsheimer, Colonel McGregor, Ritter, others. I mean, just Jeffrey Sachs. It's the most important thing in the world. And unless you have any idea of what's happening, you can't possibly do anything. And yet, just like we don't know how to eat with a fork, we lack the most rudimentary, the most basic of information, and nobody does anything. That's why. What are you supposed to do? What is the take action? The take action for us, my friends, right now is for Donald Trump to win the elections. You don't understand this. You don't understand it. Not you, they don't understand. This is the only way. Imagine this. Madam, I'm sorry to say, but you have a very aggressive form of cancer. We're going to give you chemotherapy. Does it cause nausea? Yes. Will there be hair loss? Yes. And radiation. Is it? Yes. Is it risky? Yes. Does it pose its own independent threat? Yes. Is it in essence poison? Yes. Well, why would you be giving me poison? Because this thing that it kills is even worse. So it's not the enemy of my enemy is my friend, sort of, but it's like trying to stop a bullet with another bullet, but the bullet can hurt. I don't know what the analogy is. I don't want America to like Donald Trump. I don't want them to like him, to like his tweets or him or his arrogance. I don't care about this. We are at a level where every single aspect of our society is under attack, from pronunciation to English to people. Ken Paxton was taught a lesson because of his aggressive behavior against Biden, and it's not Biden. It is this group of people called the shadow government. These are the people. This is the thing which is the most important. I'm watching this. Yesterday, was it somebody? People, I get hit. Why do people send me videos all day long? I don't understand. Why am I watching videos? What do you send me videos for? They're not any good. I know them. Let me go back again. You go to a doctor. Your arm is broken, and he doesn't tell you what to do. But he talks about it. He takes pictures of it. He puts it on his Instagram. He shares your pain with the nursing staff and with people in the audience and the whatever. He just, it's the most incredible thing in the world. It's the most incredible thing in the world. They just talk about it. I don't understand. I say, am I missing the point here? Some great, brilliant stuff. The other day, people were talking about, there's a young man named Owen Schroyer who was with Alex Jones. January 6th is a complete and total, that was a disaster at so many levels. Who is going to address that? We talked the other day about Merrick Garland getting upset over the fact that people were suggesting that he might have been rather draconian against Catholic people. And they showed picture after picture and video of him getting mad and feigning this kind of a confused and difficult to comprehend form of, I don't know what you want to call it, whatever this was. And I cannot believe that that's it. And they're done with him, and we move on. You rail against Fauci. I'm sorry, not you. But I mean, I'm talking to them. And Fauci is this, and Fauci's made $11 million. Nothing is done. I don't want to just explain. Did you see in some, where was it? There was some, I forget the news. Was it San Diego or someplace in California where they had a design, which is interesting, a design which was, let me see. Yes, it was a design. Just a minute. Here we go. Palm Beach residents complained about a proposed AIDS memorial that appears to be an anus, or that people believe to resemble an anus. Now this, it's funny, a minute, maybe a little more, a minute. It's funny about a minute. What are we doing? We are living under the illusion that we are so hip as a new. Did you hear the story about the Palm Beach? It looks like an anus. Really? Yeah. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's insane. Wow, that's great. We love to be amused. What happens? Nothing. And the shadow government is saying, let these people talk. These poor bastards think that they know what's going on. They watch Tucker, and they watch this guy, and they watch this guy and this podcaster, and they've got more people talking more stuff. Let them talk whatever they want. Bill Maher's talking about Howard Stern's wife, and they're just constantly amused while we run roughshod over the world. We do stuff under their nose, before their face, their eyes, and they don't know anything. Nothing. And they just watch these. They just talk about stuff. There's no action. None. Cities overrun by marauding, illegal people all over the world. There's just this, nobody's saying anything. We had the United States General Assembly. We have people right now who are still talking about Ukraine as though, do you not know what Ukraine is yet? Do you not understand what this is about? Do you not? No, apparently not. They don't care. Climate change. What are we going to do? Who is going to change this? This guy, Donald Trump. Chemotherapy, chemosabi, radiation, surgery, electric shock. This guy, he will go in there because he's a maniac. He's crazy. He's chemo. He is so pissed off. There's a great West Tampa term, empingado. I think you might know what that means. He is furious. He can't wait. He's back, and he wants revenge. And he's doing so many great things with the delegates. He's really smart this time. You're not going to be hearing about that. No. He's also got the America First Policy Institute. So there's two things. He knows how to win this, because he's going to win, because remember, the people who are after him most of all are the rotten Republicans. And in addition to that, in addition to all of this stuff, which is most important, and I can't tell you enough, in addition to all of this stuff, which is so monumentally important, is the fact that he is under attack. And you've got Fox News, who was so confused, forget them. People still think that Fox News is a political party or something. I don't know what there is. It's Donald Trump. Donald Trump he's going to be the nominee. Do you understand that? He is going to be the nominee. This guy right here is the nominee. Get ready for it. Understand it. You're going to see him again on the ballot. I don't know who his, vice president. I don't know. People love this Tim Scott. Tim Scott's a lightweight. You've got to pick the right person. But in any event, he needs like a Lloyd Benston. He needs somebody who is older, who says, let's go for it. Okay. He needs, I don't know who, like a Bob Dole or somebody of esteem. Somebody say, damn. because we've got to show the new and improved Donald Trump, somebody really smart, really respected, somebody who says, forget it. I'm gonna go out with a bang. I'm loving this. And he's going to be the nominee with 4, count them, 4 indictments. Listen to what I'm telling you. 4 indictments. 4. Now, I hate to do this too, but I have to tell you something. I don't mean to be so. I need 400 likes. The likes are critical. This is the thing that they love. This is the part. I want to take my message. I want to go to the entire world and say, do me a favor. Stop. What are you going to do about the election? What are you going to do? Tell me, what are you going to do? What is your move? Who is going to be on the Tucker's not talking about it. Let me ask you again. How does this thing work? I want to send my message. I need your likes. I want people to say, do me a favor. You could talk about the Palm Beach anus. You could talk about a you could talk about whatever you want. I don't care. If he doesn't win this time, and what's going to happen with Bobby Kennedy? Bobby Kennedy is so critical. He's the spoiler. He is so dangerous right now. He is so dangerous. And what people do is they love to talk about every time Joe Biden stumbles, makes a mistake, says something stupid. Oh, he grabbed a Brazilian flag. Did you see Lula? He did it again. I don't think he knows. Let's roll the tape. He did it again. What difference does this make? We understand. Hey, here's Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris doesn't. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's just this trolling. Hey, let's make fun of her. Did you see the meme? That's great. On TikTok, did you see her laughing? Okay, fine. Because social media provide a distraction to us. Social media give people the impression that I'm following the news. No, you're not. You're following gossip. That's not news. Throughout that entire interview, which is very good with Ken Paxton, I'm thinking, well, what am I supposed to do about this? Ken, what are you doing about this? Tucker, what are you doing? Well, okay, fine. This is terrible. What happens? See, in the old days, when we had Me Lie, they said, well, we got to prosecute people. Today, we say, I'll be damned. Wow. Look at those poor people. Okay, we don't do anything. You know who does something? The evil empire. Oh, yeah. So let me ask you something. What do we do? What do we do? Tell me. What are we supposed to do? Thank you, Nancy Rosa. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. What do you do? What are you telling your friends? What are you telling your family? Are you an apostle for this? What do you want? It's not going to be DeSantis. What do we do? How do we, you can wake up people. Okay, they're awake. Okay. But if they stay in bed, it doesn't matter. Okay. I want them to get up and do something. How do we enrage people? How do we get people involved? And what's the next part? I don't know. We know so much. And by the way, cackling Kamala is beyond inept. Yes. 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 We know that. She's an idiot. She's a jadrul. Yes. She's a joke. Yes. Okay. Get out of bed. You're awake. What are you going to do? And this is where we're having. This is at levels. We have a group of people who don't really understand what's happening. There's so much to pay attention to. And if you, and the other day, I read something which is so, let me explain this to you. And I don't want to be negative. Somebody said, be more radical. Dick Bork said this. Let me explain something to you. First and foremost, I am absolutely, positively, and have always been, and this is not exactly going on a limb. I am against violence. I'm against that. I don't do violence. I don't like violence. I don't do that. But there was a time years ago when the radical left, man, they were the SDS, the Weather Underground, even the Black Panthers. My God. Now, I'm not saying do that. I don't want that. But you got to ask the question, and this is kind of interesting. You got to sort of ask the question, well, what is it exactly that we're supposed to do? I mean, seriously, what are we supposed to do? We don't do anything. They do. And by the way, the left doesn't do anything. Remember when the left remember at first they had this thing, was this poussoir. I don't want to be gross. It's not gross, but there is a reference, rhymes with wussy. It was a feline chapeau, and women put this pink, fuzzy kind of felt. It looked like a I don't know what it was, like SpongeBob. I don't know what this was, and it was supposed to be a vulva, I guess, or maybe the vaginal os, maybe the introitus. I have no idea. And they marched, all these women, had them in New York. Ashley Judd talked about her. She made some Menzies reference about violence. I don't know what. Madonna got up and said she wanted to destroy the White House. It was a day of complete and total intellectual disintegration. Complete and total. Thank you for those likes. Keep those likes coming. Thank you. They did something. We came along and we did January 6th. Not we, they did. January 6th was the most stupid thing. I don't know what these people are. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know who they are. I don't know. January 6th was not violent. It was, what was that? What was that? What was January 6th? Somebody tell me, what was January 6th? What did we accomplish? Please tell me. What was January 6th about? What was it? What was it? Somebody says, we need more Proud Boys. Absolutely not. You're out of your mind. If I didn't know better, you want to get conspiratorial? You couldn't have picked a better bunch of lunatics to kill our cause. You see, if I did my way, in my movie, oh God, I would have series after series of violent trans drag performers, violent, doing things that were just, oh my God, forcing the real peaceful trans community, which I think most is, it's like, whoa, wait, whoa. That's not us. Oh, yeah? Oh, you want to talk about false flags, agent provocateur? Oh, you wouldn't believe what I would do. It would be perfect. Anything they did, anything. You want to have somebody, some guy shows up at his school board and he wants to complain about things that are read or books that are available for his kids. In my movie, I would have this guy come out and be attacked by a bunch of violent, whatever it is. And people would say, see? And of course, the real trans folks would say, that's not us. And yet, if you wait, the people in the trans community would be like you just said and said, we need more of that, not recognizing that they've been had. Silver Fox says J6 led to self-censorship, shifting gears. What you think about Anya Parnpel heard on the Kim Emerson? I don't know what that is. I did not hear that show, but I do like somebody having new, again, Silver, I appreciate this, but I don't want any more theories. Max Blumenthal, who's very astute, and thank you again, sir, very astute, has all kinds of wonderful theories. Good. That's wonderful. I heard one the other day about transhumanism and the more of this stuff. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What's with all this theory? God, the devil, theory. You want theories? What theories do you want? I'll give you a good podcast. Why don't you hear this podcast? This is the end of time, an eschatological, satanic, communist reference between the emasculinization, low T, no family, racial. I'll give you theories like an essay. Oh my God. You done with that? January 6th was a joke. Proud Boys? Is that you? Does the Proud Boys? Is that you? No, seriously. When I saw that, I said, we're doomed. We're doomed. Little boys with their, everybody wants to be a SEAL Team 6. Everybody wants to play soldier, covered in tats, Fred Ziffel beards. That's a sign of a lunatic. Oh, that's great. I'm a real tough guy. Yes, Anya's married to Max Blumenthal. Yes, that is true. Very, very, very talented people. Very informed. Very. A fascinating counter informational. And by the way, Blumenthal on bricks was superb. A Greystone, a lot of this stuff is. Listen, we need this. What does it mean? The next time anybody ever says, wait a minute, I think we should. Are you bringing up January 6th? January 6th was so. Do you know how many people have always wondered about Dr. King? Dr. King. Dr. King brought this wonderful, wonderful way of saying, wow, that's good. Now we're getting somewhere. And then Malcolm X came along. Now, the Malcolm X aspect scared the bejesus out of a lot of white folks and became part of this Elijah Muhammad. I don't know about that. Okay, fine. That was him. And towards the end, there was a talk about this merger between Martin Luther King and that. And that's when some people think, yeah, that may have done it. What was it? What was it that changed? What was it that made civil rights change? What was it that spurred on? What? Black Panthers? No. That was great within the black community. But if you want to win, around the rest of the world, who do you think the best people? How do you think the best people are the best people to do this? Do you think January 6th did anything other than the people who liked that? That was it. Do you? Do you? Gray Zone. Yes, Sparky. Yes. Anya is with Gray Zone. Yes, that's what I said. They are very good. They're very good journalists. They're very journalists. I hate that word. I don't know if that even applies anymore. They do wonderful stuff. Wonderful. You know who also I've seen them on the Hill, The Rising every now and then. Pretty good stuff. Excellent. Excellent stuff. Oh my God. Now, we can do some things, but here's the thing, Sparky, and I appreciate this. You ready for this? Okay. And here is the most important stuff in the world. And I want you to think about this very carefully. How, if you ask her, they said, Max or others, do you think Donald Trump should be? No. If I could ask you, whom do you think we should select as our president? I don't think we probably see eye to eye politically, but that doesn't mean that their journalistic prowess is not correct or they're not to be. So that's terrific. You see, Sparky, let me try this again. Don't send me videos or, hey, there's a professor from UC Davis who gives a great lecture on the Palmer raids versus, excuse me, this is wonderful. These academic exercises are just fascinating. They do nothing now. Let me tell you this again. We were hurt by J6. These lunatics, guy with an iPad. Oh, was this a Valkyrie helmets? Come on. Come on. You like that? Do you think Carrie Lake does anything for you? Do you think Carrie Lake does anything for you? Do you want to hear the same rubbish over and over again? Do you? Do you understand this? Do you understand this? Do you follow me on this? Do you really, really, really want more about this? Do you want to hear this? How am I supposed to convey this to the rest of the world? This is wonderful. You want to talk about who is the best lead guitarist? Wonderful. You want to talk about whether Panini is really a version of Blanchello, which, yes, we can talk about these arcane and wonderful. This is terrific. Andrew Sullivan was very good too. But I think Victor Davis Hanson, but he has a nice little thing. Years ago, the Saul Alinsky, and we get into this mental masturbation. We talk about this one. Hey, I'll send you a great piece from, listen, you want to play arcane? This is like when people sit around with music. I think Howlin' Wolf probably was a precursor. Willie Dixon was it? Okay, great. Wonderful. I don't care about people who do great videos I'm not going to mention the name. They're actually very, very good. And it's fascinating. I do know that I love anything on Kennedy, anything on great history that was unknown. I really enjoy, but it's going nowhere. I'm in the middle of the destruction of our city. And by the way, every now and then, when people get into something, they get into this intellectual heft where they say, we're really groovy. Hey, I like that. And remember, as soon as you get success doing this, you'll stay there. Oh, I like that. Oh, what did they do? They like that New World Order thing. Let's do more of it. Why? Because the numbers are told. Well, we have more things to say. And not really. I'd love to take some wonderful people, pick whoever you want, and sit there and say, how would you, I'm going to pick you to help me with this. We got some real problems in our country. I'm going to have you walk around this place tonight about 10 o'clock, and you come back and tell me what you see. And then give me some pseudo-intellectual, or as my friend used to say, pseudo-intellectual treatise about postmodernism vis-a-vis the collapse of the Soviet bloc. And tell me something. What would you do about crime? What would you do about crime? What do you do about border, about the lack of sovereignty? Does that ever come into your thing, or is that too meat and potatoes? Do you want to talk about transhumanism, or do you want to talk about how do we are right now, there are communities who are being just flooded with people. We don't know where they're from. There are individuals, Americans, who are being transplanted. Or do you want to talk about this mental masturbation nonsense? Or do you want to talk about January 6th? We can talk about that. That set us back forever. You've got to ask yourself a very simple question. What do I stand for? What is my thing? Do I want to be this repository of cool stuff? Sparky says, as long as reporters tell the truth and don't effort to mislead, I don't mind who they support or vote for. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't really know about that. What I want to say is, what are we going to do? Sparky, I'm going to appoint you. What do we do? Here we go, folks. Thank you very much. This is my my minister of justice or whatever it is. His name is Sparky. Sparky, have a seat. Sparky, I've got the cabinet's yours. The city is yours. The world is yours. They're all watching you. Let's talk about crime. Crime is out of control. Sparky, what do you say? What do you suggest we do? I want to hear from you. Well, I want you to watch Gray Zone. No. Thank you. They're very good. What do we do? What? What do we do? Now, got a problem. Now. What do we do? Okay. Do you want to talk about and we talk about stuff that's fascinating. Somebody mentioned the fact that there was a population control and vaccines. Okay, population eugenics. This goes back to Bentham, Malthus. Do you remember this? Margaret Sanger. Do you remember this? We did a whole thing the other day about in 1897, there was a move to stop Thomas Edison's movie, The Kiss. There's always been this sense of limited. So that wonderful discussion. What do we do about crime? Do any of these people, these intellectuals and these wonderful, prosaic, wonderful, we got a reporter at the border at the Ramallah. It's wonderful. Do you want to talk about Palestine? No. I want to talk about here. Don't you want to talk about Netanyahu? No. You want to talk about the BRICS countries? No. I mean, that's maybe later. We'll get to that. Triage. What do we do right now? Crime. We have people. We have Soros prosecutors entrenched. We have Alvin Bragg in New York who wants to give no more than 20 years top. Let's talk about this. Well, would you like to talk about eugenics? No. I'm going to talk about this. What do we do? Who are you going to vote for? Well, I don't know. Cornel West, please. You want to vote for Cornel West? You think Cornel West is going to do this? Do you think Bobby Kennedy? Bobby Kennedy, if you know. And it's not because Bobby Kennedy's a liberal. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We talk shite. We just regurgitate stuff that it's like, it's okay. And hey, I saw this great. Hey, I'm going to send you a video. It's a great idea. This is a postmodernism, and it talks about basically it's almost like a postmodernistic switch that takes a kind of a neo-Marxian take vis-a-vis. Stop it. Stop it. What are you doing? I just want you to know that I'm smart and I think this is interesting. It's irrelevant. That's great. What about now? What's happening now? You have a club. I booked you to book the acts. You keep telling me about Howling Wolf. He's dead. I got to book an act. Have you booked an act yet? No. Go to work. You're a chef. Great. Can you make an omelet? No. We have a diner. Make an omelet. You don't make omelets. You're into whatever it is. We talk nonsense. Nonsense. I mean, it's great and it's terrific, but how many of you are bored of this mental onanism? What are we talking about? Didn't broken window policing work? Yes. Yes, that's true. Okay, so are you advocating it or are you asking me a question? I don't know. Again, I don't know. What do we do? This is the thing which has to be done. Number one, you have to get this guy elected because he's a shock treatment. He's not perfect. He's not what you think he is. He's the only one who has the guts, who scares the hell out of these people. That's number one. That's number one. Number two, you've got to make sure that the elections are taken care of, that they're protected. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody. Nobody. This is a very good one. Look at this one. Oh, what is a modern Republican platform? Keep Trump out of jail and help him attack his political enemies, such as law and order. I don't know what that means, but your point's well taken. What is a Republican? I don't know. Am I a Republican? Hell no. What does this even mean? I don't know. See, this is where we are. I know I've been talking for an hour, but we don't even understand. I started with the term conspiracy theory. We don't even get that. We don't even have that right. We are just a bunch of nattering nabobs of non-negativism. We natter nabobically about nothing. That's all. Listen, you've been terrific. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Edie, Crowley, thank you. Sparky, Silver Fox. This is very interesting. We get into, I've noticed this, free association. The world's on fire. The world's on fire and everything is falling apart. Raul says, secure the borders with soldiers, guarantee all students are performing a grade level in English and math, incarcerate all criminals in China. Incarcerate all criminals in China? You want us to go to China and incarcerate their criminals or move our criminals? I don't know, but that's pretty good, though. That's part of it. It's very, very simple. Borders, elections, boom, triage. Absolutely. And also, let's get our head out of our arse and stop all this talk about whatever. I mean, it's fun. It's great. Hey, I'm going to send you a great video. Here's a great thing about, oh, God. And also, we have to listen to me. Do me a favor. Get over COVID and Fauci. We'll talk about that later. That's not going away. Okay? Just stop it. I don't know where this focus is. I go, we're talking about Fauci. Another thing, too, is when you talk about guns, you have to explain to the public, why are we talking about guns? What is the political? Do you think Trump's going to win if he talks? I got to show you his picture. Do you think if we talk about what am I trying to say? Abolishing abortions? No. Politically, no. Anyway, friends, you have been great. Thank you. All of you dear friends. Again, Sparky and Raul and everybody, terrific. You were great. But think about what I'm saying. And don't just think about it to go away, but I want you to think about it and say, what am I doing? Do I really know what's going on here? What am I doing to help to win in 2024? I don't know, but I have some great videos that can talk to people about transcendentalism and the postmodern Foucault meets I don't even know what the hell that means. All right, dear friends, I love you. Have a great and a glorious day. Don't forget our great sponsors, preparewithlionel.com and mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. And see you tonight at 7. Don't forget to follow, sign up, subscribe. We got great videos coming up later. So comment as you see fit.